Be ready. 15 seconds. First of all, I am beholden to your foundation for having given me this opportunity to be with you here this day. Your annual lectures have already become extremely popular and useful. I find that a long line of eminent personalities have been speaking to you on the Foundation's annual day. They have presented their points of view to you. They have brought to bear their experiences on the issues of population and development. Going through some of their speeches, I found that there is very little that has been unsaid or remains to be said on this particular subject. Hence, I find myself rather in a very difficult position to propound anything new or worthwhile. It is my handicap also that I do not belong to the profession of those who have been working very hard on this particular issue. And therefore, what I would speak to you today will not be anything new, but I will try to minimize the torture of listening to me by trying to be as brief as possible because I think that it is the only way to earn your goodwill. Well, friends, for some of you who are present here, you know that I belong to a particular school of thought in this country which firmly believes that we have a great future ahead, and I am bullish. I would say on India, but certainly there is one subject on which I feel cowed down and I do not feel strong enough to defend our records. And that is the question of population. I think some of us have been guilty of not giving the same prominence to this subject which it deserved. Not that there were no proponents of this particular thought or idea that population is a very important dimension of a country's growth problems. Not that there were no people who were telling us why we should give more importance to it, but somehow most of us were so carried away by the ideas of sheer economic growth and development that we thought that this is a problem of number which could easily be solved. But then, when I look in retrospect and think of the days which were given to us to do something, I feel that it was one of the ironies of life that we wanted to serve the people. We forgot about the numbers. We belong to a civilization, a culture which celebrates marriages. We have a fascinating concept of weddings and wedding ceremonies. We spend lots of money on sweets and laddus when babies are born. Yet, at the same time, we discover what a horrifying figure the people become when the numbers become unmanageable, and therefore we felt that perhaps the developmental side would remain gloomy and dark unless and until the population side is brightened up and looked into in a very different manner from where we have been looking at it. In fact, when you look at the prospects of India with 850 million people already in position, and we are marching towards a mark called billion number people on this earth, we find that perhaps we will not really be able to take care of the welfare of those great numbers. That is where we feel that we are perhaps caught in a trap. In the language of the economists, it is the Malthusian trap. That is the power of earth to grow, to produce what you call the needs of the people will be totally overtaken by the power of the people to expand in numbers. About 200 years ago, when the 18th century was coming to an end, Europe witnessed a similar situation. Hundreds and thousands of people were sleeping in absolute discomfort in the lanes and bylanes of London, Paris, and other places. There was a wave of unrest all over. There were disturbing factors all over. There was a tide which was running so high that people did not know and could not understand as to what its meaning was. But one thing was clear, that throughout Europe there was uneasiness, there were convulsions, there were revolts to which they could not attribute one single cause to explain it. In France, of course, they found some sort of an answer in the failure of its economy and the collapse of its finances. But in the rest of Europe, they were becoming victims of swelling numbers of people in that they would not understand as to what was motivating these people to call and to question their status quo, to shake the roots, as one would say, the institutions of Europe. Then there came a discerning man by name Malthus, and he said that this is all happening because the power of the population has overtaken the power of the earth to produce the needs of the people. He saw them coming into the streets of London. He saw them sleeping on the naked earth without any support or without any cover. Sir, I would suggest for the consideration of the House, and this is what we have been attempting to do in our science and technology plan also. We should have plan of developmental application of rural technology. Only a few days back, a few friends from the Bangalore Institute of Science came to see me. They said that they had formed a team of scientists at the highest level who are teaching in that institute. They said they decided to go to a village about 70 miles away from Bangalore and settle down there, and then identify the problems there, trying to find out how science and technology could be applied for the purpose of removing backwardness there, for the purpose of improving the productivity, for the purpose of bringing about a better environment there. They have had some short term experience in functioning in the village. They told me that they were encouraged very much not only by the results which are coming out of their experiment but by the response from the scientific community.